with the main man himself, Stephen Ash. Stephen, wonderful to see you with the smudge there. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. I'm good. I mean, lots of changes, lots of stagnations, but a lot of changes as well. We don't talk about the stagnations, we just talk about the things that are going through transformation,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
And of course, the honouring, as we call it, the smudging is such a wonderful part of that process, isn't it? Helping to clear things.
Yeah, and the smell is so, I mean, we need that lovely, rich smell in the house, you
Yes.
know? It's a wonderful smell. I mean, it makes a lot of dust and all that sort of thing. But I think this honoring each other is really important, and honoring the land is important. That's what we're talking today about, isn't it? Ley lines and
Yeah,
walking the ley lines.
exactly. Well, I'll tell you what this is inspired by, Stephen, really. This series
Yeah,
that I'm doing is that there's this guy called Matthew Liam Gardner,
yeah.
and he started on the 1st of February for Imbolc in the Isle of Wight, and he is walking the spine of Albion. He's walking all the way up what they call the Belenus line, all the
Yeah.
way into Scotland, about 800 miles, through a lot of the sacred places. And he's sending voice notes of his journey. So the last one that we got on KindaSound, he was at Uffington and he was on the Dragon Hill, and
Oh, I know.
he's carrying his backpack, he's camping, and he did this voice note from Dragon Hill, Australian guy, So I thought what would be wonderful is to speak to some other wonderful people who've also done these ley line walks, who've also walked the land, who've also sung the song lines, to get other people's experiences and then blend it in with Matthew's journey as he walks along. So
I think it's beautiful. You know, I think the chance for us human beings to grow comes from many different directions. And when you talk like this, Giles, it kind of reminds me that the walking of the ley lines that I've done in Britain actually set a huge transformation inside me. I think the work that I do now is so much stronger because I've walked the ley lines. And I did it with a friend in the 1990s and going through the millennium time when we were developing the rainbow essences together. And his name was Terry Webber. And he ran a shop called Mystery Mountain in Dorking. And he's a lovely man, lovely, lovely friend, really lovely friend. And we walked the song line, the Pilgrim song line, from Canterbury through to Glastonbury, and then from Glastonbury to Winchester and Winchester to Beachy Head. So we walked those lines, and we did medicine wheels all the way along the line, and we slept in hedges,
wow.
and we built little fires en route, and we sat and meditated under trees, and it was such a transformative experience. And we knew why we were doing it, because we were activating the landscape with the rainbow essences.
Yeah.
And so we were divining out along that line, that song line. As we went, we would just feel in the landscape, well, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What's happening here? And we were just putting drops into the landscape and putting crystals, because he had a crystal shop. Mystery Mountain was a crystal shop. And we would, he just came with ample crystals, and we would put them in the landscape. And I think for men, I think especially for men, it's important that we have this real like your friend what's his name
His
again?
name's Matthew.
Matthew. Matthew walking that line. I mean, he'll come out of it such a changed man.
Yeah.
And I think these are rites of passage for
Yeah.
us. And it's this willingness. I think it's the willingness of us to take time Take time out and just walk.
Yeah.
Just walk.
Yeah.
It's the best. I think for a man, it's the best thing going is just plain simple walking.
Yeah. It is, isn't it? And even from a kind of body brain perspective, when you're walking and you're doing this left right thing,
Yeah.
with your arms and your legs, and it's balancing the hemispheres of the brain, and it's a very natural thing that humans can do, a very beneficial, low impact form of exercise. And what a way to connect to the earth.
Oh, I, I, this is it, isn't it? You know, we're all talking at this time in history of losing this connection to the
Yeah,
earth. And walking along these meridians of energy, of Mother Earth's acupuncture meridians, that's what they are, aren't they? And they all link up, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, at the moment, I'm planning walking along what the Compostela route
right.
because it comes through here.
Does
I
it?
mean, it comes right through the valley just over to the south, maybe 5 kilometers away, 10 kilometers away. It's running east west from Poland, and it's running to the north coast of Spain. Well, I mean, doesn't matter where you walk on it.
Yes,
I mean, every day I walk the Mary line as I go up and down the river. These
yes,
lines are everywhere.
yes, yes.
You
I
know,
think,
and we think we have to go to special places, but actually all the special places are linked.
yes, that's a wonderful thing to get across to people, I think, Stephen, because people often think, oh, I have to go here or there, but you're right, they're all interconnected. Even if it's just walking outside of our door. I mean, even if you're in a city, these cities are often built on these energy
Ah,
centers.
yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
had Madame Mahan Das, the Hare Krishna, speaking recently, and he was talking about the London Earth Star and the alignment of London, and
Mm,
and how when he was, in the 1980s, he would see the Hare Krishnas singing along Oxford Street, and he
yeah.
thought, wow, they seem to be having a lot more fun than me. And then he later realised that Oxford Street is one of the main arteries, one of the main ley alignments of London. And of course, they were singing the song lines. They were doing something so ancient, even though it was a very built up, London's busiest commercial shopping
Yeah,
street it is this ancient alignment, and they were doing something very ancient.
yeah, yeah. It's so exciting, really, because it means that we don't have to feel uh, as if we're crazy nutcases. All we've got to do is get our intention, our understanding, really, of being alive and being actively alive. Because it is the way we orientate our attention, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yes.
You know, and I think this is one of the joys. One of the joys. I mean, as you talk about it, I realize that I can't help myself when I'm walking up and down the river because I'm stretching myself further and further afield as I go.
Yeah.
I can't stop myself singing,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's as if when we sing, we're impregnating the earth, the mother. It's like the horned god concept. It's like you hear about it in the old druid systems. The horned god makes love with the virgin queen. That sort of energy. And when we walk and sing, we're impregnating. We're putting up, giving something back, and I think that's really important.
It is. It really is, Stephen. So
Yeah,
you've done this sort of massive, Canterbury to Glastonbury, and
yeah.
then Glastonbury you went to Winchester, and then Winchester you went to the coast in Sussex, which
That's
is
right.
again, it's an old route, isn't it? The
It is.
uh down to Sussex there. So, what advice would you have, Stephen, for someone who wanted to undertake a walk of the ley lines?
Well, I think the fun is to plan an action. Like let's say like what I'm doing with Marcus. You know, you've got to do it according to your fitness,
Yeah,
your age, your the amount of time you have. I mean, what when we did it in sections. We
yeah,
didn't do it in one go like Matthew's doing it because
yeah,
we were both working men and we had families.
yeah,
So we just took time out and we planned a route
mm,
and we planned our actions so
mm,
that we didn't waste a lot of time and a lot of energy. And we knew what we were doing. I think the fun of it is not just doing the walk, but planning the walk. It's
yeah,
before
yeah,
doing the action and then afterwards saying, well, what did I get out of it?
yeah, yeah,
Because, you know, as soon as you sent this message to me, Stephen, what should we do today? And you talked about Layla. I said, well, I've done that.
yeah,
And so, what are the fruits for me that I
yes,
can share? Because, you know, I'm not trying to say I'm a shaman or anything like that. Okay, it might be said of me, but
mm,
I think a person who walks their medicine, and that means walking their talk as well. So they have to be willing to look in the mirror and justify their actions.
yeah,
Yeah. So I have to face me and I have to face the world. And facing the world is a great big mirror. So
hmm,
walking the ley lines is like walking a mirror self
right,
because you're never going to walk in that territory again.
yeah,
It's new world.
yeah,
You, it's not like me walking up and down the river here because I do that every day. I know the territory. But if you're walking like Matthew's walking up the spine of Albion, then it's new territory for him and he'll never do it again.
yeah,
So you make the most of every step, really,
yes, yes,
you know, and you see that our repetitious life, our habits, um, get shaken up by a
yeah.
walk like that. Don't we? Matthew is going to have a bit of a tough time. It's not easy peasy.
Yeah, I mean, he actually he sent a message the night before he set off, and we were planning to do an interview, and he said, "I'm just getting so much psychic attack before he set off." But he said
Wow.
he couldn't do the interview. Bless him. But he very kindly sent us a voice note. You know, he recorded a voice note about how he was feeling and how he was setting off.
Mm.
And I think that when you do something like that, you are bringing about challenges within your own self. So you've got to deal with yourself, but also you are, doing something um, so powerful. He's doing it for himself, but he's doing it for the earth. He's doing it for humanity. That you are going to get resistance, aren't you? If you do anything, you step out of the norm.
Oh, absolutely.
Resistance will come, but I mean, credit to him, and that's one of the reasons that I'm doing interviewing people like yourself about it, other people who walk the ley lines. I was so inspired just by the fact that guys having a go,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you know.
absolutely.
And if I was going to do it, Stephen, I wouldn't set off on the 1st of February. If I was going to walk out, I'd probably set off on May Day or something, or
Yeah.
I'd set off on Equinox when it was warming up. But I mean, we have had a very mild and sunny February. Excuse me. So, I think that's the thing is it's inspiring others and even inspiring conversations like this, where this experience can come out of it through people like yourself. But yeah, as you say, he'll go through those incredible challenges. I mean, whether he'll finish the whole thing and get up
You
to
just,
the north coast of Scotland, whether he does or not. He's having a go, and I think he's currently sort of north of Birmingham.
wow. But that's a good place to be, north of Birmingham.
Yeah, he's got through Birmingham, but it's fascinating as well that the Belinus line, it goes through Winchester, ancient capital of England, through Birmingham, through Manchester, these industrial powerhouses, through Dunfermline, ancient capital of Scotland, to these fascinating places. And Gary Bilcliffe and his partner Caroline Hoare, they spent, I think it was 15 years on their book, The Spine of Albion, dowsing these currents of energy,
Yeah.
this yin yang currents of energy that go all the way up and through these fascinating places of power. But I think walking it brings you into that present moment, doesn't it? When you're walking, you're observing, your focus is on the earth, it is on every step, as you said.
And the thing is, when you're walking with your breath, aren't you?
Yes.
You know, and I was walking with Renata last night, again up the river, down the river, sort of thing. And I was tapping away, tapping the sacred directions on my body as if my body was a drum,
Right.
feeling that, as I walked, there's a perfectly natural rhythm with the breath. And of course, as I walk, there's a perfectly natural rhythm with the heartbeat because, as you're walking, you're, you're really thumping with the heartbeat.
Yeah.
And I think it's in a way, it's the closest thing to using your body as a drum.
Yeah.
This lovely connection with the breath and with the heart and with the earth. I think it's the most. And then what you're also getting is you're getting magical experiences. I mean, really magical experiences.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
the experiences you just cannot explain, really.
Yep. Yep.
And then you live with, well, if I'd done this or done that. Let's say, like when Terry and myself eventually got to Glastonbury, we gave ourselves 2 days to walk that last piece because it was important to us. But there was such a strong wind. The wind was against us coming from the west.
Yep.
And we were leaning into it and we were
Wow.
creeping around hedges trying to get out of the wind but keep going forward.
Wow.
And it was like the brakes were being pushed against us.
Yeah.
But we kept going. Well, I mean, how stupid can you be? If the wind is pushing you, you better just go with the wind. We should have gone backwards, really. Because we
Wow.
were both ill, tremendously ill after that.
For that last section.
That was the last section to Glastonbury.
Yeah.
And we both were practitioners of Chinese medicine, so we understood the medicine of strong wind.
Right.
But it took us quite a long time to get over it. So it's like you're learning lessons about life. Do
Yes.
you push against the wind or do you just go across the wind? Or how do you deal with wind? Or how do you
Wow.
deal with fire,
Yeah.
like our business with Nelly?
Yeah.
Or how do you deal with water when the water's coming down in rain
Yeah.
and it's pushing, drenching you to the bone? And
God.
rain is terrifying because you'd think you're never going to get dry,
Yeah. Sure.
you know? Or the earth. So you've got all the elemental stuff happening when you take a walk. And
Mm.
besides that, you've got the ether energy of the line, the dragon line.
Yes.
But I found that in the long term, because you walk these lines, you get a feeling of the energy of a dragon line energy. So I think this is the main thing you learn by walking the lines, is you're dealing with the dragon lines and you're dealing with the invisible dragon energy. This is the mythological aspect of it. I mean, you've walked the lines. You've walked the lines, and so you feel that, your head nods when I talk like this because you know it.
Yeah.
instinctively and intuitively.
I mean, for me, Stephen, I kind of, maybe it will come, maybe there will come a time, but I often itch just to walk. I just love it. I feel a bit like Forrest Gump, and sometimes I just want to keep walking and walking these pathways. But my current situation of, like you say, being a family man and having those ties, I wouldn't be able to undertake a walkabout as the old folk in Australia would have done, just go off. And sometimes these ancient pathways are no longer the pathways and pilgrimage routes of old, but they've
Mm,
become major roads. So for me, I walked from where we are here in Stradishall along the St Michael line to Bury St Edmunds, which is an ancient pilgrimage path. But now it's the A143 with hardly any pavements along it. So I did it, and I've only done it once. And when I did it, I put out a message and I said to people, don't do this because you are taking your life in your hands,
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's a major road with no pavements in a lot, dangerous bends, lorries doing 60 miles an hour, and you're at a risk to your life. So that's another thing, isn't it? Some of these pathways are beautiful and they're footpaths and whatever, the ridgeway, and you can walk along it, and you might see the occasional horse or cyclist, but some of
yeah.
these old pathways have become
Yeah.
major roads.
Which is fair enough. I mean, life moves on.
Yeah,
History moves on.
sure.
The wonderful thing that we can do is we can still, I think this is the interlocking of the web.
Yeah,
No matter where you walk on the web, the mother, the goddess, the great mother of the earth values every
yes,
step we take. You could walk half a mile to the left, for example, of the
yeah.
A3143, whatever it is. You could walk along parallel.
Yeah,
You know, I think this is what we need to do, is be very, very adaptable, but keep
yes,
our intention alive.
sure.
The Albion Avalon vision of the earth being alive.
Yes, yes.
But there are other um, between the veils. They talk about the veils, don't they? The mists, the veils. Well, the little people and the old people and the ancient ones of the trees and the downs and the old energies of the earth.
Yeah,
You know, we can partake of that, and we can honor that by doing it in real time.
yes, absolutely.
If one person who listens to this show says, "Oh, I might do something like that," that's a good start. You know, and there's so many people. Once you get into it, you get addicted. I
Yeah.
can't stop it. I keep doing it. I love it. It's my primary form of exercise, is just to walk the land.
Yeah. Oh, it must be the best one. And I think I'm going to get out for a walk later. This chat is really inspiring me. I don't think I'm going to walk to Bury St Edmunds again, but I did actually do that once, Stephen. I thought, rather than walk along the road, I'm just gonna go a different way.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna find my way. And that
Yes.
did lead me into some fascinating places, within my own consciousness, but also within the landscape. I thought, God, where am I?
Yes. Yeah.
Where am I? And sort of losing yourself and finding yourself. Kind of sounds. I just want to let you know, StephenAsh2.bandcamp.com. On the Medicine Path album, there's a song called "I Walk with My Friends."
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, it's just the depth of it is so. Just go and have a listen to that kind of sounders after the show. It's StephenAsh2.bandcamp.com, or if you just go to Bandcamp and just search Stephen Ash. It's on the Medicine Path album. I walk with my friends.
I walk
You
with my.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that song, Stephen?
Well, I did a vision quest where I nearly lost my hand, and it was a really powerful experience. I mean, I realized as this what came up about this walking the ley lines, I realized it's been a lot linked with doing vision quests
Yes,
because you walk into a vision quest. You had to
yes,
walk out of it, really.
yes,
Except that one, I got carried out.
yes.
Um, but it was such a powerful vision quest that it stretched into the months and years that have
Mm.
come from it. It was 2017, and I went up a mountain. I had a vision, and the vision was so strong it threw me backwards off the mountain.
Yeah,
And so the story in the song is really exactly what we're talking today as I
it
walk with
is.
my friends I'm walking.
It is.
You know, on this pathway of life, I'm walking with friends like Giles Bryant and Terry Weber, you
Mm.
know, and Marcus Mayer. And I'm walking with my friends. It's so important to keep this bond of energy with the landscape. And so that song came up because it came all the songs, as you know, as a songwriter, songs you have to wait and you have to sort of call for the song. Like I'm calling for a song for Nelly at the moment,
Yeah,
and I'm waiting.
yeah,
I'm waiting for that inspiration to come through.
yes.
And when I wrote I Walk with My Friends I'm Walking, it was such a stonker, you know.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
really nice song, you know.
Yeah,
You
it
know.
is. I think it's about 8 minutes long or something as well, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's quite it's quite epic. I mean, it's oh my word. I mean, as just as we're talking about this as well, what comes to my mind is when we recorded it as well. The process of recording and the joy that we shared and those good times that we shared in the process of it, and then the value in doing that is that it's there for people.
yeah,
It's there for people. It's available. I mean, you can buy the CD, but if you anyone now, they can just who's got an internet connection, they can listen to it. What a
yeah,
wonderful thing that is that the inspiration of it and the creativity of your songwriting process and our us coming together to create the album means that it's there for people.
yeah. And it is. It's a wonderful. This is something that we can give as music people. You know, if you go with the Aboriginal concept of the song lines, you know, that's such a beautiful concept
Yes.
to sing as we go through life.
Yes.
You know, we can cry or we can get into our head, but you know, to bring it down and to really use the breath and the voice to bring joy to yourself. I mean, what else are we here for, Giles,
Yeah.
than to bring joy to ourselves? You know, I know we're not always there, but, you know, I think it's getting the percentage of time we spend higher and higher and higher. So
Yeah.
it's well over 50% that we spend in a creative mode.
Yeah.
And if we can keep increasing that, then we spend more time in high consciousness. And then we become addicted to high consciousness rather than addicted to low consciousness.
Yeah. No, you're right. That's a Yogananda spoke about that. It's that journey, how we can move towards it, and it's so true, Stephen. Beautiful words.
Simple. We've got to keep it simple,
Yes.
you
That's
know. And it,
another great wisdom of the medicine man. Just keep it simple.
yeah, yeah,
Because we
yeah,
are simple. I mean, let's keep it simple.
yeah,
Let's absolutely keep it simple. And what could be more simple, kind of sounders, than just going out your door or getting in the car or getting a bus or something and going somewhere nice and having a walk and singing whilst you walk and breathing whilst you walk and noticing, observing the land, particularly at this time of year as things are waking up.
Oh,
I was out for a walk and I saw these little buds coming out on a blackthorn. Maybe it was the little flowers that are about to come out. And I was just taken into rapture. It was just like, oh, oh, just to see that little black, oh, yeah,
yes. And it's finding that joy in the little things, isn't it? You know, because we have such gross expectations.
hmm
Gross, gross. Like,
right,
you know, rather than finding pleasure in these small aspects of life, fundamental.
yeah,
Come back to the fundamental.
beautiful, beautiful. Well, Stephen, thank you for sharing your
Oh,
wonderful wisdom
real
a-
pleasure,
and
Giles. Absolutely.
experiences as well of your walks along
Yeah.
the Leylands. I never knew the story about when you got to Glastonbury and the wind as well. That's
Oh, yeah.
wow. That's God.
We
But you
got
did
up
it.
there. Yeah, we did it. And we got to the top of the tour for sunset. We managed to get there for sunset,
Yeah,
the second day. And it was just colossal.
yeah.
Just colossal.
Sounds it.
Every,
So, Stephen, just to wrap up, have you and Dear Renata got anything coming up? What's next
but
for
what
the
we've
School
got
of
is,
Sacred Drumming?
yeah, we've got this a pipe medicine weekend at the end of this in 2 weeks' time. And that's an in-person event. And then we've got a few weeks after that, we've got the beginning of the self-healing course,
Wonderful.
and that's online as well as in person.
Brilliant.
So it's on. You know, the school is growing, and we love to have new members. So if anyone would like to become a member of the school, please come and join us and learn to become a sacred drummer.
Wonderful.
Because the drum is your being.
Yeah.
This is the drum here,
Yeah.
and that's what we're emphasizing more and more is using the body as a drum.
Yeah. So that's schoolofsacreddrumming.com where you'll
Lovely.
find it's a beautiful website that you've created
Oh,
with wonderful, wonderful information. And when you look at it as well, you see the incredible depth that Stephen and Renata have developed. There's sections on sacred drumming, the medicine path, the Golden Light Project, the healing home, make your home a temple, as we're doing here, the sacred ceremonies. You're talking about the sacred pipe there, and the soul retreats as well. So there's so much on offer. So do have a look at that kind of soundness. It's the school of sacreddrumming.com. It really is. It's not just a lifetime's work, it's 2 lifetimes, both yourself and dear Renata. What
thank
you're
you.
offering to the world, and it's brilliant that you can do things as well, Stephen, that both are in person and online. I think it's a
Thank you.
great way in the modern age just to be able to reach out to people wherever they are in the world to make things accessible, as we're doing with this show. We're putting it out there. It's on YouTube, it's on podcasts, and we're making this accessible for people, which I think is a wonderful gift because our dear friend from KindaSound, Isaac George, he left his body 2 years ago. So I did a show for him recently, just remembering Isaac George. He was a great man. He was really a great man, a great medicine man. And as I was doing the show, I was talking and I said, well, you can go to his website, da da da. But his website was down because after he died, no one had paid for the fees to keep it
Hosting.
going. And he'd put all of these episodes up on his website, and no one can access it now. And I felt such sadness, but then such joy because of KindaSound. All of his episodes are out there. They're all out there as podcasts. So even though Isaac is no longer physically present,
Uh,
through KindaSound, he is. And it will be like these sessions that we're doing, Stephen. As long as there's the internet, then even if your website goes down, even if my website goes down, these podcasts will still be accessible. And I think that's when I kind of found that out, I thought, yeah, we've done some good things here. We've preserved wisdom.
It's as if it's all part of a great dream. We're
Oh
feeding
God,
the
yeah,
great dream,
we are.
actually, the great dream. And I don't think there's a better gift for Creator than to than for us human beings to be feeding his dream
Oh, beautiful.
or her dream,
Yes.
life's dream, feeding the dream, actually putting it all back in, feeding it, saying, "Hey, I'm grateful for the food I eat and for the
Yeah.
breath I breathe
Yeah.
and for the life I've got. So
Yeah.
help me, Spirit, to guide me to give back something,
Beautiful.
and the rest
Beautiful.
is trust." But how can we get rid of the fear of survival and step into this? And that's the big challenge. And I think that's where walking the ley lines, coming back to that beginning, really, coming back a full circle. It's having the courage to get out and have a walk and maybe walk overnight.
Mm.
That's a great start, by the way. That's how we
Mm.
started, walking every full moon through the night.
Wow.
On an energy line. You start
Wow.
somewhere and you walk through the night under the full moon.
Boom.
It's colossal.
Oh, I tell you what, Stephen, you have inspired me so much as the earth wakes up. I think I'm going to do some of that this year. I think my route will be the Michael Mary line. It will be the St Michael line because I live near to it, so I can
Yeah,
easily access it, and I can walk upstream to Bury St Edmunds, or I could walk down and end up in St Michael's Mount. We'll see where it leads me. Well, the medicine man, Stephen Ash, thank you so much once again. God
thank
bless you.
you.
God bless Renata. God bless everyone. And thank you, kind of sounders. Keep it kind of sound.
Thank you. Bless you, Giles.